You're fine. Yeah, go around.
I promise. Tell me if I'm in.
So again, we just ask that you give us another 10 minutes before you use any of the information and detail that we're sharing with you at this time. So again, welcome and thank you for coming out for our uniform unveil today. And at this time, I'll take any additional questions about the uniform and the design.
Can we get you up here a little bit?
Sure.
Just stand here.
First, just go ahead and give us say spell your name for us, just so we can make sure we have it.
Sure. Seth Bennett, Senior Vice President of Marketing, SETHBENNETT.
First of all, just talk about how excited you guys are now. The whole thing is, until you do the core, until you start that first game, but this is one more step as far as becoming the Hornets. Talk about that.
This is actually one of the biggest steps in the whole rebrand activity and process for us. We're extremely excited about it. The most exciting thing is that every decision that we've made thus far has been data-driven from our fans here in the greater Charlotte area. So we're excited to be able to have this opportunity to unveil the uniforms that have been so much influenced by our fans.
There are some subtle nods to the original jerseys. Obviously, it's a whole new look. Just the difficulty melding the two between making your own identity and having that sort of homage to the original.
Well, it's no secret that we're required to update and refresh the uniforms as we were the brand identity. And it was a tough task in terms of making sure that we gave the appropriate nods to the history of the uniform. And I think you'll see that within various elements of the design, some more subtle, some more obvious. When you look at the pinstriping, you look at the V-neck, you look at the crown C in the short, that you see those elements. But it was very important that we connected to the heritage of the original uniform, but we had to take a step forward and modernize that, and we think we've been successful in doing it.
Obviously, it was a long process. Was there a point when the light switch kind of flipped when you said, wow, this is going to be it? This is it?
You know, as the entire brand identity came together, which started with our logo that we introduced early in the year, the various steps, the strategy that we employed week after week in going through this process kind of made us very confident. But clearly, as it started to come together and we understood how the design would also then move into the fabrication and manufacturing of the uniforms, we were quite pleased at that point that what we were trying to express in the design was also going to translate in the actual fabrication of the uniform.
You talked about it in the availability earlier, but if you could again discuss the just what the original players for the original Hornets franchise, what their reaction was on this other thing.
You know, throughout the process, we've looked to engage the former Hornet greats that played here, and to date, they've all been very happy and pleased with how we've done this. And we've tried to be thoughtful and strategic in every element of reintroducing the Hornets brand back into Charlotte, and they've been completely supportive. Later today, Muggsy and Dell will participate in a jersey tour around Greater Charlotte to local media outlets and giving them opportunity to see the jersey up close and take a picture with them.
How long did the process actually take before you came up with the uniforms you did?
You know, the entire rebrand process from start to finish, by the time we take the court in late October, early November, as the Hornets, will be inclusive about a 2-year process, including the market research and the application process and all that went into the design elements as far as that goes. So we've been on this trail for quite some time. It's going to be over a 2-year stint for us by the time it's all said and done. And we've been involved in the design process heavily since July, when the Board of Governors unanimously approved our application to become the Hornets again.
About how many different combinations did you come up with before you selected these 3?
You know, it's tough to say in terms of actual count, but I can tell you there's a lot of consideration to every element, from the fonts that we developed as a part of the brand strategy to the uniform design and how we would recognize the heritage of the original jerseys and include that in the refreshed jerseys. But it was quite numerous and quite a long process that we went through.
I know you've got the stripes on the side, but was there ever any thought on the pinstripes back on the original jerseys and pants?
Well, I think we wanted to put our own version on it, and the league requires that you not follow the exact same standards. So to have gone back with a full set of pinstripes was probably a little bit too close to that. And there are various approvals that we kind of went through with that process, and we settled in. The uniqueness of the striping being asymmetric and on one side of the uniform also gave it some uniqueness. And there are other teams that have a subtle pinstriping within their uniforms, but this allowed us to be unique again, but also be able to give that nod to the heritage and history of those Hornet uniforms.
The 16 to 20 games where you're going to wear the teal, I know that's what everybody's sort of looking for. Those are going to be the big games, and sort of how excited are you to roll those out?
That was a key factor for us, and normally the darker color in your palette is only allowed to be worn as your primary road uniform. The teal gives us the ability to wear it as an alternate, which means we can wear it at home and on the road, and that was all about the fans. Typically, you'd only be able to wear your road uniform 2 to 3 times at home. And this will give us ability maybe 8-10 times that our fans can see it up close and celebrate it and be a part of that teal, in that it was the most popular color in our market study and research. So we're excited about that. We think, again, that's all about the fans and giving them more. Clearly our players, as you may have seen in the Unveiling video, it was something they were really excited about as well.
In the color pattern, you've got gray and also you've got black and a bit of blue. Down the road, could we possibly see a uniform in those colors too?
That is absolutely the opportunity. When we were creating the color palette, we wanted that flexibility so that we could withstand the test of time and have various applications, whether it's apparel for a t-shirt or a golf shirt or a hat, they have that flexibility. And as the uniform programs roll out for the NBA, that'll give us that opportunity to consider other colors in our palette as a base color for uniforms.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.